Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Brittany and I'm on a mission to hit 5,000 subscribers, so make sure you click that button below. I would appreciate it. So in today's video, we're actually going to be going over how to properly maintain your Ricoma MT1501 or just in general any embroidery machine, because to be honest, if one is like it, all is going to be like this. So if you're interested, then keep on watching. All right, so at this point, I've actually had my Ricoma machine for about a year, and there are definitely a lot of videos that I have seen on ways to properly clean your machine, and every video has just a little bit more knowledge that I do learn. So I figured I'll show you guys what I have learned and the way in which I personally keep my machine clean. Now, you guys probably did see my clean with me video. I do definitely clean the exterior of my machine, which more than likely I will be doing again today, because for some reason when it comes to my craft room, it gets so dusty in here, and I think it just has to do with just being in here, moving products around, and honestly being very active in here. So that is very common. It is definitely something that I've noticed, that this particular room gets a lot more dusty than all the others. But that's okay, because we make sure we keep our machine nice and clean. Now, mostly what we are going to focus on today is actually lubricating your machine. Now, Ricoma does provide you a little bit of oil. This is actually what they will give you, as well as more oil, so if you ever run low, you can just easily fill up. Now, personally, I've never filled this all the way to the top just because it can pour out just a little quickly. So I just kind of, keep it low, and then if I need to, I'll just refill it. Another thing that we are actually going to be needing today are Q-tips. I do recommend cleaning certain spots with Q-tips, and then as well as just having a few napkins on hand, because again, you're messing with oil. So let's go ahead, let's get into our machine, let's get up a little closer and see exactly how we need to do this. So the first thing I actually do want to focus on here is going to be your bobbin house. You definitely want to make sure that you take your bobbin out and you properly clean inside here. Now, if you actually look inside mine, you will definitely see there is dust, there are some threads in there. So we definitely need to make sure we're taking that out. I can definitely tell you with some experience that I've had, I have had some excess thread get stuck in there, and it actually make this really loud noise. And I found out that I had to unscrew the top here, which of course they do recommend doing it. I don't do it that often. I have done it once or twice, but it's kind of hard to get to some of these screws. So I only do it if I personally need to. Not the best suggestion, but that's just my personal opinion. So I actually do use air can in order to clean inside. Some people will use a little tiny brush. I actually do keep 2 of these on hand and just keep them, right underneath my machine right here. So we're just gonna spray. Okay, so now we are nice and clean. And then all that we're going to do at this point is go ahead, take your oil, let's go ahead and drop it inside. So we just want to keep everything nice and lubed up here. So now what we can do is go ahead and put our bobbin back together. We're just going to go ahead and put that back in there. Now, of course, there is a hole up here and a hole back here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but basically this is where your needle will go in and out, and there's also a hole back here. You just want to go ahead, drop a little bit of oil. That was a lot. That's why I said I don't fill this up all the way, because as you guys can see, it kind of gets out of control a little bit. So that's where our paper towels come in hand. I'm just going to kind of wipe it down just a little bit. Again, it did seep inside the holes, so I'm not removing anything. I just don't want the oil sitting on top of this machine. All right, so another thing that I personally do, now granted, as I'm walking away and trying to talk, sorry guys. So what I personally will do, about every 4 hours, depending on if I have a consistent order, I will do this. If I'm not doing orders that consistent, to be honest, I might do it every few, I don't do orders that often, so maybe every few weeks. So a quick solution to go ahead and oil up your machine, like I said, you just drop it in these 2 holes, and then these red holes, you're just gonna wanna go ahead and drop some oil in there. So again, this is just gonna be your quick solution. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Now, to be honest with you guys, you do not have to squeeze this bottle. It is going to come out all by itself because there is solution down this rod, okay? So that is how you do it quickly. Now, like I said, if I do want to get down and dirty and really clean my machine, you're gonna go ahead and remove this completely. And what you're actually going to want to do is actually lube up every single one of these pistons. That's kind of what I call it. And so you're just gonna go ahead and drop a little bit of oil. Now, I don't have to do this because I just recently did this not that long ago. And to be honest with you, you can, maybe not from you, but my angle, I can definitely tell it's well lubed up. So it is completely fine. You know what? I'm doing a video. Let's just go ahead and do it. And again, you're not using a whole lot. You're just using a little bit. A little bit goes a long way because you got to remember, once you're using these threads, those pistons are going to go up and down and everything is just going to move around. Alrighty. Now, this is kind of where my Q-tips come in hand. Again, maybe I'm being a little OCD here, but there is this small piece of fabric. It's not even fabric, but if you look closely, you will see right here, there's this piece, and I can actually lift it up. And sometimes I will go ahead and I will clean in between each one. Now, yes, it is hard, especially when you have your thread in the way. But again, you're just gonna kind of go back and forth. You're gonna wanna clean that up. So now you can see we definitely went ahead and cleaned that up. That looks disgusting. So that is good. Now you guys will notice that your thread is probably a little bit loose. That's fine. You can just kind of pull it tight from above, so that is fine. Do not worry about that. And then all we're going to do at this point is go ahead and slip our disc back on. And now you can see my thread is kind of a chaotic mess, but don't worry, we can fix that. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and focus mostly on top of the machine. Now again, what you can do, and I've seen this done, and I actually think it's a really great idea, when you actually remove this bar right here to kind of shoot oil down, I actually will put oil down here as well and just slightly go, like I said, I'm not even squeezing the bottle and I can see everything dripping. Maybe you can't see it from the video, but trust me, I'm gonna go ahead, I just stuck a little bit of oil down here. And then again, I'm going to be taking my cotton ball, it's not cotton ball, it's a Q-tip, and I just kind of clean the surface just because, of course, guys, again, we get really dusty in here. So let's just go ahead and clean all that up. Is this a little tedious? Absolutely. Again, keep in mind, I don't do this all the time, but again, I want to keep my machine nice and clean, and it is going to make your products run even smoother, especially when you're taking care of it. All right, so when it comes to these, there's nothing that you really need to touch. Again, if you really wanted to, you can get in between and kind of clean. I will be honest with you, I've not done that and I don't do that. So why am I doing it for this video? I don't know, but I don't do it. I have seen somebody physically take all their thread off and do a full deep clean. Yeah, I'm not doing that because to get this thread through, it's not that easy. So I pick and choose my battles. All right. So all that I was doing is I was just correcting some of my thread that got pulled. Like I said, it's just super easy. All you gotta do is just pull it from the top over here, and I have one more. All right, perfect. All right, so from here you can go ahead, turn your machine on, and there is just a few more spots that you will want to go ahead and lube up. Basically what you're going to do, turn your machine on, and this part is going to take a little bit. We're going to go ahead, hit the needle. Actually, we need to hit needle, not color. So we're going to hit the needle, and we're going to go all the way to 1. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to move everything out of our way, because what we want to lube up at this point is we actually want to lube up this bar here. Now granted, they do recommend putting some, I'll throw up the name here because I can't remember, every 3 to 5 months. Surprisingly, no, I have not done that, and I probably should. I believe that they can pick it up from Lowe's, so I have not personally done that. But again, we're just going to go ahead, oil that up a little bit, And then all we're gonna do is hit needle 15. And there's another bar located on this side. So we're just gonna go ahead, lube that up. So while I'm actually here, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up a little bit. Like I mentioned, I would have done this anyways. So you just get a lot of dust, and we just wanna keep everything nice and clean. All right, and now we are just going to basically dust off the top of the machine. Again, I'm not going too crazy. I will actually lift up some of my threads and just kind of go in between, just because sometimes it does need it. Again, this is not something I do often, but when I notice a lot of dust, it is something I for sure will do. Ooh, I don't like doing it because, as you see, I'm dealing with some thread loosening up, kind of getting a little tangled, and I don't like that. Oh. See, I have thread that actually got stuck. All right. Let's go ahead. You'll notice I really didn't cut too much out. It really doesn't take that long to make sure that your machine is nice and oiled, and took me maybe about less than 5 minutes. And yeah, I definitely do recommend, like I said, they do say to do it every 4 hours. Some will say do it once a month. Some are saying if you are running the machine consistently, then at least in the bobbin house, you need to at least do it every 8 hours. So again, you know how much you're running your machine. I don't run mine as often as you might think. So yeah, I at least do this at least once a week, just to kind of keep everything moving, and again, keep the outside of it also wiped down and clean and dust free. So hopefully you guys did find this helpful. I will go ahead and list the Ricoma machine maintenance down below. Maybe they might give you some extra, suggestions and tips. So if you found this helpful, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next crafting project. Bye everyone.